Hi everyone, Coach Orvant here. In this course, we'll be covering aim, movement, and settings as well. We'll go over everything in deep details. Peeking, aiming, mouse grip, keyboard, keybinds, settings, graphic settings, mouse settings, sensitivity settings, everything, and all the dueling mechanics in the game. Hope you enjoy it, and please leave me your feedback so I can keep improving it. Right? See ya. So let's start with settings. Start with Windows settings and then in-game settings. Okay, so first go to mouse, additional mouse options, pointer options, and make sure enhanced pointer precision turn it off. This just accelerates the mouse speed the faster you flick or the faster you move your mouse. So it's a little bit inconsistent. So you wanna turn it off to have constant speed so you build up the muscle memory. Another thing here is go to display. This is something additional, has nothing to do with aim and movement. But yeah, you see this reduce latency, you gotta turn it off. Because when it's turned on, Valorant sometimes gets buggy and it freezes when you queue up for a game and it says match found. Sometimes when you alt tab, the game gets frozen. Turn that off, it will fix it. Last thing here, again, additional. I see a lot of people open NVIDIA control panel. I'm sure there's something similar with AMD. And they go here to increase the saturation a little bit to make the enemies more visible, you know, the outline of the enemies either red or purple or yellow, whatever color you're using. Make it appear better. I personally do not use it. I don't find it useful, really. But yeah, it's something worth mentioning. Yeah, that's for Windows settings. For in-game settings, here's the big part. So first, let's start with the general settings. This is my sense on 800 dpi. I'm on low sense. Okay, personal preference, just don't go crazy too low or too high, just stay in between. I'm on the lower end. The average is 800 dpi and 0.35. Make sure you're around that average, not too high, not too low. This is scoped sensitivity multiplier. A lot of people miss that last part and think it's a separated sense for the scoped. No, it's a multiplier. So it multiplies this number with this number, and now this is your scoped sensitivity. For consistency, we obviously want to make it 1. Same for ADS here, 1, because it's the multiplier. Something out of the way. Unless you really know what you're doing, you can change it, but it's the multiplier. We'll go to map. So map is very personal, but I'll give you the recommended settings if you struggle to look at the map. For example, I don't like it fixed. It doesn't make sense for me. For example, when I move like this, the map is still the same. So when I look at it, I take a couple of seconds to process, okay, where am I looking towards what on the map? Again, because I'm not used to it, I'm used to rotate. But for people who are new to the game or starting to look at the minimap a lot, make it rotate. It will help you so much because it makes sense. When you move, the minimap rotates with your mouse. Keep layers centered on or off. That's really personal preference. When it's off like this, like you can walk around. The map is fixed, it just rotates. But when you turn it on, the map moves around you. So I personally keep it on, players centered on, because I'm a jet main. When I entry, like smoke dash entry, I need to look at my minimap in the smoke after I entry for like less than half a second. So I just want to look and find my character in the center and my minimap around that, you know, like I cannot afford any time wasted for me looking, okay, where I am and where I'm looking. That's me. I explained why I have it this way. You can have it wherever, but I also recommend these settings if you are struggling to look at the minimap. Another point, if you are, for example, here and you cannot see a side, for example, here, so you can press caps lock, it will open the map. That's the way to get around it if you really want to look at the other side of the map, but the minimap is small. Or just make it smaller from the slider. This brings us to these two settings, minimap size and minimap zoom. The size is the actual size of the minimap. Is it big or small? Okay. The zoom is the zoom of the map itself inside the circle. So for example, this is the size. If I make it minimum, see, it's so small. If I make it maximum, it's so big. The circle itself. but the zoom is what's inside the circle. So make it small. Okay, now I can see the whole map because it's so zoomed out. So yeah, I like it in between like that. You can make it smaller to see the full map. I also recommend maximizing both if you are struggling to look at the minimap again. So make it as big as possible just to force your eyes to look at it at some point. Minimap vision cones, of course, 100% you want that on because it helps a lot. Vision cones on the minimap. So as you can see, I'm moving with Sova on the minimap and there is a light cone changing. This is so helpful because you will be able to see the cones of your teammates, right? So for example, if somebody is looking here, but you see their cone is cut out like here, for example, here, understand this area is smoked, for example, or somebody is in A heaven and they're looking and there is no vision cone, so understand they are smoked. So you get there is a smoke there. Or if the vision cone like appears all of a sudden, understand the smoke is gone. All right, moving on about this. Yeah, show blood and show corpse. You gotta turn off the corpse. It's a person preference again, but it's a little bit confusing if you have a body on the ground and you are looking at it from a weird angle, like there is elevation. Sometimes you will think it's a body. It happened to me multiple times. That's why I turned it off. So when it's turned off, there is just like this plate, like right here. I personally prefer it off. Show blood, I prefer it on. Why? You can use blood as an indicator. Like when you shoot somebody through walls or wallbang somebody, you can see the blood getting like splashed, right? It can give you info, by the way, sometimes when you're wallbanging somebody, like you're shooting this. If there is somebody there, you will see their blood coming out. So it's really good. When you headshot somebody, when you have blood on, there's boom, like a spraying of blood jumping in the air. That's in general. Let's go to controls. Okay, I have weird controls because I'm a lefty. Regardless of that, I'll talk about the general controls. Jump, screw wheel down. Oh, that's odd, but yeah, this is very common in any FPS shooter. So you have it on screw wheel down. Like that. Really useful to bunny hop. Like that. I'm just using my screw wheel because I'm just spamming this is just the jump key by doing that. So I bunny hop. Once I touch the ground, I'll jump again. So I'm consistent with my jumping instead of trying to time it with my spacebar. And that brings us to another thing. You should unbind cycling to your weapons with your screw wheel. It's very inconsistent. Just use 1, 2, 3, and that's it. To be more consistent. You don't want to be using the scroll wheel and switch to your knife instead of your pistol or whatever. Another thing, ADS and sniper rifle, toggle or hold. Up to you, personal preference. I personally use the toggle. For other games I use hold, just personal preference. But one important thing, if it's hold, press right click and you gotta be holding that right click as you can see. But you cannot double zoom, so you have to bind this toggle zoom level, bind it to wherever. I personally use it for mouse wheel up. So I have this, and if I wanna change, just do this. It's my scroll wheel, right? But if you have it toggle, yeah, it doesn't matter, just right click again. You can still use the scroll wheel, of course, but you can just right click again. But the thing is, when it's on toggle, like you can press right click and it zooms you out at the end. But if you use the scroll wheel, it doesn't zoom you out. Keep that in mind, very important for AWPers. I died so many times until I figure out these settings. Yeah, and of course the operator zoom, you want to make it cycle, so it actually cycles between the two levels. If it's toggle, it can only open one level, just like the Marshall. That's it. Other things are just personal preference. Moving to the crosshair. Again, personal preference, do whatever. As you can see, there is no moving error or shooting error on my crosshair because it's a little bit distracting for me, and I know the timing of the shooting. But if you're new to the game and you need some indication about like moving error or shooting error, yeah, here they are. You can turn that on, turn that on. If you move, it will go big, as you can see. And if you shoot, it keeps getting bigger. That's very distracting for me, to be honest. I just prefer to turn it off. And yeah, you can play with the settings here, like offset, mix it bigger or smaller, thickness. Just make sure the crosshair is not so big to the point it blocks your vision on far enemies. So for example, here, you see the crosshair is relative to the size of the head of the bot there. Don't make it too big to the point like it blocks too much of the enemy, so you're not precise anymore. Like right now, as you can see, it's actually not the smallest. That's why I actually use the dot. I prefer the dot, like that. That's for crosshair. You can do separated crosshair for ADS and for the sniper. Whatever, change the color, like play around it, personal preference. We'll go to video now. Very important for the video section. FPS always turn it off. You need maximum number of FPS. Push it to the maximum. More FPS, the lower the input latency. NVIDIA reflex latency, make it on plus boost. I don't think it does anything, but it's nice to squeeze it. Display mode, like full screen or rendered full screen, I don't think it makes any difference. But go to graphics quality. As you can see, you can just copy what I have here. It's a tactical shooter game. You need zero quality, zero graphics. You just need a clear vision on the enemy so you can kill them. So I have everything on low and everything on off. See, some people say the bloom helps in the Viper ult. Yeah, that is true, but I don't think it matters that much to care about turning it on. The only thing that's still used here, of course, the multi-threaded rendering. I'm gonna have it on, and these two settings just to soften the edges a little bit. Very important to have them on. We'll go to stats. Again, if you have an issue with anything, you can turn it on as a graph or as text or both. The only thing that I actually need you to have is the shooting error graph at the end. Movement blue, firing orange. Okay, so what does that mean? Shooting error graph on the right of my screen here. So if I'm standing still and shooting, yellow spikes or orange spikes. As you can see, the more I shoot, the more the spikes. But if I shoot while moving, they will be blue. Blue. So it's a nice indicator if you're training strafing. You get to know, like, yeah, how many bullets I'm shooting. And if I'm shooting while moving, you see a blue spike like that. Yeah, audio is just audio. Yeah. Yeah, the HRTF, I don't think it makes any difference. I think it's actually bad. Like, I have no problem having it off. You can test it out, but yeah, I've tested out. It didn't make any difference, and sometimes it's confusing more. So I love to turn it off, and that's it. That's every setting in the game. So yeah, see you in the next lesson. If you like the video, make sure to subscribe, like, and leave me your feedback in the comments. And also you can tell me what I should be doing next. I'll be happy to read it out. See ya!